Welcome back to JBSports. I'm your host, John the Burden, and today is Friday, so it's all about the normal sports. And may I say, we saw the Pacers strike first before the Thunder last night. Tyrese Halliburton with another game winner just to top off his amazing performance in the playoffs so far. I believe this is his fourth game winner, so he's got a game winner in each series now and a game winner in the finals, which not too many players get to say they've had. I think I saw a stat and it was the last game winning shot was Michael Jordan against the Jazz. So Tyrese Halliburton is in some very, very good crowds. Just to go over the stats, though, another thing I saw, it was the Pacers led the game for zero point 0.3 seconds. That's the whole time they led the game. So you're looking at this, and you didn't see the game so far, you'd see, oh, the Pacers had 25 turnovers. The Thunder led for over 40 minutes. You're like, okay, the Thunder had to win this game. No, they didn't. It was a stat, and on all of those turnovers, the Thunder only scored 4 points off of 25 turnovers. To me, that's insane. You got to capitalize on the turnovers because even if they had half as turnovers and you score more points, they still probably win this game. And the Pacers scored 11 points off of the Thunder's turnovers. So you're just seeing the Pacers in some of the categories that matter, they just do a little bit better in. But the Pacers probably had the worst game of their playoffs so far, worst, second worst, and they still won this game. In going for the Pacers side, if the Thunder don't make more baskets off the turnovers, they stay around, and then the Pacers have half as many turnovers, that goes in the Pacers' favor. Because not only is it just taking that turnover away and giving them that possession back, you also have to think of the pace of the game. So the pace, no pun intended for the Pacers, would have been way better. And Richard Jefferson said a lot that they probably needed to slow down a bit, and I think they did. I think both teams are trying to go like at 110%, and they're going real quick, and it's just not a good match. And someone needed to slow it down a bit, and it worked out for the Pacers. But going through some of the point totals, we'll start with the losers, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Chet Holmgren, not a very good game for him. He only was in there for 24 minutes, so I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if it's like the physicality of Miles Turner is just more than he can handle because he didn't guard Jokic really. That was Alex Caruso's job, so he hasn't guarded a dominant center really. In the teams they've gone against, they haven't had such a big center. So I don't know what's up with that either. He's hurt, he's not fitting the scheme well, or just Miles Turner is too big for him and too physical. But something's got to change for the Thunder if they want him to actually help in the game because he was 2 for 9. He had 6 points, one turnover, one block, 6 rebounds total. So he's putting up a tour date. So far, he's got one tour date. Jalen Williams, again, scored 17 points, but if you look at the efficiency, it's not that good. 6 for 19, 1 for 4 from 3. He was perfect on free throws, which, the Thunder, it just makes sense for all of them to do good on free throws, but it's just inherent for them. But only 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. So some of the stuff around it's good. And then you just look at the efficiency of the shooting side, and it's just awful. It really was pretty bad. Shea, not as bad because the numbers even out the percentage a little more, but Shea with 38 points, so he did what he needs to do as the MVP. He was 14 for 30, 3 for 6 on threes, hit some big threes during the game. He was 7 for 8 in free throws. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 0 blocks, and 2 turnovers. Not terrible on the turnover side. I think it's okay for him to have 2. I mean, he's usually bringing the ball up when he's on the court. But that last shot, I'll get into that later just because it was the end of the game. So I'll wait for that. Lou Dort, not terrible, 5 for 10. But the big thing about them, the 5 shots he hit, they were all 3-pointers. He was 5 for 9 from the 3-point range. 4 rebounds, 1 steal. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals, 2 blocks, and he played pretty good defensively. He had some big time plays. I was surprised he hit that many threes. I don't know if I just don't realize he's actually a 3-point shooter or he just had a good day, but let's hope if you're a Pacers fan, it's just one good day. Next, Cason Wallace, 3 for 9, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Minus 13. That's not as good for the starter because Hartenstein came off the bench, which I don't think he's been doing, and Hartenstein had a pretty good game, honestly. Only scoring 9 points, but 1 steal, 9 rebounds. The one thing the Pacers have been tormented on by almost every team is on the rebounding side. So Hartenstein has had time to just eat on the boards because that's what he needs to do. He upped the scoring a little bit. He's played some good defense. That's what he needs to do. Other people, Alex Caruso, 11 points. He had 5 free throws, but made 4 of them. And a lot of other people just contributed kind of lightly. Caruso still being that defensive presence you need, but wasn't as big in this game as he kind of was on Jokic in other games, which you could say he was kind of fouling, but usually the smaller guys, they don't count the fouls they have on bigger guys. It's just how it works. It worked for that in my games and other games, so it's just weird like that. Then we'll go on to the winners. Pascal Siakam, 7 for 15, 1 for 2 from 3, 4 for 6 in free throws. He had 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, and 19 points. I'm going to be honest, it's not like any Pacers player really stood out. I mean, they all kind of put their piece. They had 5 people, all 5 in the starting lineup have double-digit points, and then Obi Toppin, who really showed out after really struggling in the beginning with 17 points, but we'll keep going. Aaron Naismith, he kind of still has that, I think, ankle injury, so that might be nagging him, but he didn't have the best game. 3 for 9, 3 for 7 from 3 points, though, so that's where most of his points came from. 1 for 2 on free throws. He did contribute really well in the rebounds, so 12 rebounds, and he got the rebound that led to the game winner. 1 steal, 5 turnovers, though. You don't really want to see that. A big thing for the Pacers this game was the turnovers, like I said. But only 10 points. Turner, not terrible. 5 for 10, 2 for 5 from 3, 3 free throws on 4. He had 9 rebounds, 6 turnovers, which is another big thing you want to worry about because this Thunder defense is very good, and it is really shocking that the Pacers were able to stay in this game and win it with the turnover margin they had. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. Andrew Nembhard, 4 for 11, 2 for 6, 4 for 5. He had 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and 14 points. Big thing for him is he kind of stepped up on defense. He's been put on to guard some pretty good guys. Like he had to guard Brunson the last game of the Knicks series because Naismith has that ankle injury. Now he's getting put on the MVP and Williams. So he needs to get some credit that he deserves. And he hit some really good threes at the end to get them back in the game. Then Tyrese, the Halliburton, 6 for 13, 2 for 7 from 3. So the 3 you want to see him do a little better from. He wasn't that efficient, but he had 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, which isn't terrible, but for Halliburton, it's not the best. And he had 14 points. Of course, the shot at the end is what really made his point in this game, but you still want to see him play better because he is your star player on the Pacers. So it still is going with that mantra that when he's on the court, the offense is better, and when he's off, it's not as good. And I think that still continues why he's such a factor for these Pacers, especially because he's a star. But when he's on the court, everything seems to go better. Now we go to the bench. Obi Toppin, one of the real heroes here. 6 for 9 from field goal. 5 of those would be threes. No free throws, but that's okay. He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 turnovers, which were all really early turnovers, which is why you thought maybe Obi was not going to play that well this game and maybe not play the rest of the game. But then he stepped up with the threes, and he had 17 points by the end of it. Second most on the Pacers, so that was pretty good. Most was Pascal, of course. And then on the bench, Thomas Bryant, 5 points. TJ McConnell, he's going to score you that 9 to 10 each game. Really just solid. I mean, had some bad turnovers, and his plus-minus was not good, but it's just who you got to guard. Benedict Mathurin, kind of taking that step down again after the Knicks series where he played really good the last few games. 1 for 5, 5 points because he had 4 free throws and made 3 of them. and 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. And then Ben Shepherd, who this guy, I'm sorry, he's just been getting bullied by player after player really this postseason. 1 for 2, 3 points, one being from a 3-pointer, his only made shot, 2 rebounds, and nothing else than that. I think he had 3 personal fouls, most of them on Shea. So he's just been getting bullied by these players the whole series and all the playoffs. He's just been getting bullied by some of these players, which sucks for him, but that's what his minutes are. But going into this game, a lot of people were saying it's home court, Thunder. It was most people saying they're going to get smoked, and a lot of people like me being like, you know what? It's probably going to be a loss for the Pacers, but don't count them out of this game because that's just the team the Pacers are. And do they show that again? Down 12 points for most of the game, and it gets near the end in the fourth, like 6 minutes left. They start to kind of bring everything back. Nembhard hits some threes. Obi Toppin hits some threes. They start to play good on defense. They're fouling less. Their turnover margin was way less. I think it was 19 turnovers in the first half compared to the 6 in the second half. So they fixed that real quick. So that's a good sign for the Pacers fan. You know, they got to calm down a little bit, focus on not turning the ball over. And it comes down to Nembhard, who had a great move on Shea, really shook the MVP out of his shoes there, hits an important three. Then Pascal, he gets the free throws, hits, I believe it was 2 of them, and they're down by 1 point. And the Thunder, they could just hold the ball, but I think they wanted to score or just try to put it out of reach. And Shea takes it. He's getting guarded by Nembhard, I believe, and just gets a shot up, does not go in, clanks out, and Naismith gets the rebound, and you know exactly who it's going to. It's going to go to Tyrese Halliburton, game winner in the Bucks to end the series, game winner in Game 2 of the Cleveland Cavaliers series, Game 1 in the Knicks series to get them to overtime in Game 1, and now a Game 1 winning shot in the finals, and Tyrese Halliburton is just adding to his legacy. And it's just another game where the Pacers are down by an enormous amount of points in very few time left in the fourth quarter, and it's a big game for them, and they come back and win it. Tyrese gets the ball, dribbles down the court. They don't take a timeout. Goes left side, goes to the right, goes to drive in on, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Williams or Wallace. It was Williams or Wallace. And just a quick pullback, shoots the mid range, and just hits it in. And Thunder are left with 0.3 seconds. Not a lot of time on. It's a catch and shoot. They try to do a quick pass to the rim to see if someone can get it, but Toppin's there, Miles Turner's there. No one was going to get that. In the Pacers seal Game 1. The key for this is the Pacers have been so good at away games, at least sticking in them and coming back, but winning the away games have been the key thing for the Pacers. Every single Game 1, they've won. Every single Game 2, they've won. Every single Game 3, they've lost. Game 4, it's been most of them they won. They did lose 1 to the Knicks, and then Game 5, they've won every single one. Yeah, so we'll see where this goes because the Pacers, you're really happy that you got this win. In your mind, you're like, okay, we got a win in probably the most hectic playoff atmospheres, one of the best playoff atmospheres you've ever seen. The Thunder, no matter who they have on the team, no matter what seed they are, they bring in an amazing crowd, and they are great fans, and it's a really hard atmosphere to play in for the opposing team. As you saw in the beginning, it's not just like they're nervous because it's the finals, it's the fans around them. You see all OKC fans. I think you could probably count like maybe 20 Pacers, maybe probably less than 20. Maybe like on your hand you can count how many Pacers fans were there. Not a lot of them. So you see all those swarms. That's where like the mistakes happen, the turnovers happen. But once they settled in, like I said, which they've done in almost every Game 1, they've come in and they've won this game. The Doge that always predicts the series has been right about every series so far with the Pacers, and they could be right with this one. If you're a Pacers fan, you just want to see your team. Don't get overconfident. It's like what Halliburton said. Hey, we're happy about this. We got to win the next one, and then the next one, the next one. You got to win 4 games in these finals, and you want them to go out there, steal another game in Oklahoma City, brings you right back to your stadium, your court, where it's even easier for them to play. Maybe the Patriots fans flip the switch, make it hard for the Thunder fans and players to feel comfortable there, feel comfortable watching, and they can pull off at least one win there. If they can somehow steal another game in OKC and they can win a game at their own court, they have a really good chance of winning. And of course, it's the same thing in each series, but when you're playing a team like this, the best team in the NBA, they have the MVP, they have a great rounded out roster, they have great rebounders, they have scorers, they have pretty much anything you need except their 3-point shooting has been a little off, but you could say the same thing for the Pacers at times. Not in this playoffs, though. They've been pretty good from 3. But if you can skate out another win in Oklahoma City, you can bring that pressure, you bring that momentum to Indiana, and you win one of those games, I think the Pacers can win the series. Going straight into it, I thought it would be fun. I thought maybe the Pacers would steal one game at home, and that would be it. But they really flipped this around, and seeing the Pacers play probably their worst or one of their worst games in the playoffs and still beating the best team in the league, the MVP, I just think they have a way better chance than any of us really thought they had. You know, some people were like saying Pacers in 4. That's a little crazy. I don't think you can do that, but I think the Pacers have a good shot at actually winning the finals. I'm saying it here. I still think the Thunder will win it, but I think the Pacers need a little more credit for what they're going to be able to do. You can never count them out of a game. That's all I'm saying. But I think the rest of the finals will be really fun to watch, and I think the Pacers will make this a really close series. But going off of that, from the fun news for me to the not so fun and a little worrying news. It is about star wide receiver, top 5 in the league. I proclaim him as Terry McLaurin. There's a report that he's frustrated with the lack of contract negotiation and movement. And if I'm him, I would be too. You just had the best year of your career, which let me pull up his stats right now. Yard wise, it is his 3rd best, but you don't got to look at the yards as much. That's you're in the range of each year being its best. 1,096, his 5th year straight in the 1,000 yard club. Only year he didn't have it was his rookie season, and he still had 919. But the main point you need to look at is the touchdowns. 13 touchdowns. He set a Commander team record for most touchdowns in a year from a receiving touchdowns in a year from a Commander's receiver. So this man had one of the best seasons a wide receiver has had in Commander's history, but he also had the best season of his career. And to not have him re-signed already, I think is frustrating for me because this is your best wide receiver. This is a guy that has been through thick and thin. He's been there for the worst years, and trust me, some of our worst years he's been here for. He's been through ownership changes. He's been through coaching changes. He's been through how many quarterback changes? I don't know. It's too many to count. So seeing this guy who's put his heart and soul into this, finally gets a quarterback that he can work with, has his best season for you, has the best wide receiver season for a Commander ever, really. Doing this much, he is what the coaches want as a player. He's what the coaches want as a man. He is just a great overall human being, and he hasn't got the contract yet. I think it's terrible. It's frustrating as a fan. I can only try to comprehend how frustrating it is for him and just for the other players. I mean, Jane Daniels is doing very well at kind of taking the high road, saying, oh, we know Terry. We know that he's still working. He just got to get his business handled. Love that his teammates are being fair with him. Love how the fans are being fair with him. It's just get the man signed. I'm gonna be 100% honest. This man deserves it more than anyone on the team deserved getting signed. I mean, yeah, second most. I'd say Jaden Daniels, but you know what I mean. But out of everyone other than him, he deserves it most, and it's kind of feels like we're slighting him a little bit, and we just need to get this guy signed because it's just what's right. He's been the best player on our team for years, and it's just rude, honestly. You just need to get it done. So, moving on from that, some more Commander stuff. Gabe Taylor, Sean Taylor's younger brother, did not get signed, which is a little sad, but at some point, you just got to be best players. They got to get signed. I hope Gabe can get another chance somewhere else, maybe with us down the line, but I hope him well, and I hope he can continue to be great. Other Commander stuff, back to what I said last week, I was kind of talking about how some of the people sitting out Terry, it's understandable. He wants his contract. Laramie Tunzel, just OTAs. He didn't really go to any of them on the Texans. I'm still a little worried about Marshawn Lattimore, though, because Marshawn Lattimore, I've been defending for the last year when he was playing bad because, he was hurt. He didn't get enough time to get the scheme down, and everyone was kind of just dogging on him. And I mean, you kind of have the right. He's a big name we brought in. He should have been the best corner, and he had a rough patch. I mean, he was hurt. He wasn't showing up. So I continue to give him the time. I continue to say, let him show up to the practices. Let him get healthy and see what he can do. But he's not showing up. Out of the three people, he makes no sense not to show up because you had a bad season for us, injury or not. You didn't have time to get the scheme. So what? Show up, get the scheme down. And he's not doing it. So it is a little frustrating seeing our number one, number two cornerback not show up after having a year like that to finally get everything together so he can prove to everyone that, hey, I'm who I used to be. I can still be that guy. I can still be the player for you. But he's not showing up. Will I continue to defend him? Yes, I will. As a crazy man, I will. I still think he can be good. I still don't think he's gotten the chance he deserves. Is he proving me right now? No, he's not. He should be showing up to these, but he's not. Hopefully, he's still putting in the work in. Hopefully, he's trying to get some of the playbook stuff down. Whatever he can do to make some progress with his career for us and still get working, I hope he's doing, but this isn't a good look for him. And I think that maybe he should be showing up, but of course, it's his career, it's his life. He does what he wants, but everything's looking fun for us. I'm really enjoying some of the moves we've made. I'm really enjoying some of the games we'll have this year. I do think it's kind of crazy that some of these places are saying that the Lions have a better chance at winning in our home after what happened in the playoffs where we ripped them Lions up. We kind of just destroyed everyone's expectations of what that game was. Everyone was ready for the Lions to go to the Super Bowl that year. I don't think, will they beat the Eagles? I don't know, but all I'm saying is to not give us our respect after what we did to them in the playoffs is kind of crazy, especially because we won't even be in Detroit then. We'll be in our own stadium, which throughout the years you can probably see the stadium, and it hasn't always been more Commanders fans. I mean, it's kind of understandable why it was like that for a while, but it's good to see now that there's more Commanders fans. When I've been there, there's been more Commanders fans than other teams. The first time I ever went to a Commanders game, it was Packers versus Commanders. It was the one where Taylor Heineke played terrible in the first half and then showed off and won us the game. Not really showed off because he played pretty good, but not amazing at the end. But we still got the win. And let me tell you, there was way more green than red there. So it's nice to see that switch. And of course, the new stadium coming in, hopefully that will be almost 100% Commanders fans there because that's going to be a stadium I think we can really be proud of because this stadium now, it's ours, but its its history has been pretty wishy-washy, and a lot of the stuff that happened with the people in charge, it's really diluted the pride we can have in that stadium. This new one, it's going to really bring it back up. We should have the draft there in 2027, and everything's just looking good. But this team just needs to continue being good, continue to prove that we're the next up and coming team, and by all means, and by everything you can do, protect Jaden Daniels on the line. I hate to say this. I hate to bring it up. It's brings trauma to me as well. But we don't need another RG3 situation to happen. I don't think it will happen because we have better owners, our coaches are more understanding, and we wouldn't push him like we pushed RG3, which you kind of had that thing with the ribs where you see we didn't push him. So hopefully we can still be good, we can continue to improve, and we can be the team we should be. Still think it's a year or two out from the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people have high hopes. I still think the Eagles are a powerhouse that you're going to have to deal with. They continue to bring in good people like Jahad Campbell, and you can never really count them out when they're against us. Really, anybody in our division. The only team I feel like we can confidently beat is the Giants, because the other teams we just like to play terribly. Cowboys, we always play terribly against them. Eagles, they're just really good, and we won a game last year, which was a very fun game, but there were some circumstances that made it happen, and whether or not we won because of Jalen Hurts getting hurt, it doesn't matter right now because we got 2 games this year against them again. We're reloading it. They are the Super Bowl champions, and it's time to prove ourselves. Will we? I think we can. I think we'll split. I'll come out with a schedule prediction soon. I'm still kind of wrapping my head against some of the people they're going against, trying to really think it through. But throughout this episode, we've talked about the first game of the finals, the shocker by the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton to beat the MVP and the favored team to win the whole finals from the beginning of the playoffs. And then we went into some talk about Terry McLaurin and his frustrations with his contract negotiations, which are completely understandable. And then Marshawn Lattimore and just some more Commanders talk. I want to say thank you guys all for watching this video. Tomorrow, I will have Money in the Bank predictions up and Worlds Collide predictions up. Hopefully, I can get those done in time. At least I will have Money in the Bank. Worlds Collide, we'll see, because it's just a different style of pay-per-view that I kind of have to understand a little more and kind of look at the wrestlers more and try to get the storylines, because, AAA, whole different bag that you got to try to catch up on now that we have acquired them. WWE has acquired them. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, you liked it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.